What's up, everybody? This is Jackhammer2711 coming at you today with yet another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Classics Oolar, the Jungle He-Man action figure from Mattel. Oolar is the 2015 Club Eternia sub-exclusive figure, which means this action figure was only available to those who subbed and will only ever be available to those who subbed. This figure will never see a re-release according to Mattel in any kind of future sales or anything like that. The only way to get this guy was by subbing to the 2015 subscription. Just taking a look here at Oolar in the packaging. He does come in that standard Masters of the Universe Classics packaging. He did come in the mailer box. You can see there, you've got your Masters of the Universe logo there at the top. Then you've got the figure there in this nice window box packaging that we're used to. And then down here at the bottom, of course, you have his name, Oolar the Jungle He-Man figure. It is an adult collector figure. Bottom of the packaging has that legal stuff from Mattel. Back of the packaging, you have, of course, here at the top, your Masters of the Universe Classics logo. And then some of the characters who were previously available, such as Skeletor, King Grayskull. Of course, you have the Oolar figure here, He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and the Goddess. If you want to read Oolar's bio, here you go right here. You can pause and read it if you want to. Real name is Oolar, Lord of the Jungle Tribe, so that's not really that big shock or anything like that. MattelCollector.com, where collectors are king, of course. You have that logo there. And then they encourage us to collect them all. And that's a nice picture of Oolar that I'm assuming is from the original mini-comic that came with He-Man. So anyway, there's Oolar in the packaging. Let's go ahead and bust him out of his plastic prison and see just what exactly Oolar is working with. Alright, everybody, we've got Oolar here out of the packaging. And this is a really, really nice exclusive, in my opinion. It's a pretty highly fan-demanded version of a specific character, and it's well executed. It looks great. It fits in well with the line, and I'm glad to have it. It's really, really nice. Just taking a closer look at some of the accessories here that Oolar comes packaged with before we dive into the figure. First thing we'll take a look at is this sword. It's been so long since I've seen the original mini-comic, but just a little bit of background on this character. Oolar was He-Man as he was originally depicted in the original mini-comic that came with the first He-Man action figure way back in the early 80s. And originally there was no such thing as Prince Adam. Prince Adam was something that was created for the Filmation cartoon, which later became part of the official canon of the action figure line. But originally He-Man was just a jungle barbarian that the Goddess granted a power harness to and mystical weapons to fight Skeletor, and the original sword that He-Man received looked just like this. It wasn't the power sword. Skeletor owned the power sword, and He-Man was fighting Skeletor, to kind of get the power sword away from him. I believe, if I'm remembering right, of how the mini-comic was originally written. But this is a representation of He-Man's original sword, and it's really, really nice. It looks like it looked in the comic. It's got some nice gold metallic paint here on the handle, and then some nice sculpting detail there on the handle. Really nice. And then the blade is it's a very simple blade with that blood groove down the center and metallic silver paint along right there. So it's and it's made in China. Made in China, right there, you see it. But anyway, a really, really nice accessory, a really cool accessory, and a nice nod to, how this guy was originally depicted. But a great accessory. It fits nicely in his hand. Of course, there's no weapon storage on this character because, as you'll see, he's just a guy in a loincloth with no armor or anything like that. But you can easily put some armor on this guy if you wanted to. If you have an extra He-Man harness, especially one that came with the Goddess, you could just slap that on He-Man right here, or Oolar rather, and he'd have some armor and he'd have some, you know, weapon storage. But anyway, here's Oolar's sword. The next thing we'll take a look at is Oolar's spear. Had it there in his hand. It's a really nice accessory. I'm just taking a look at the head of the spear. It's very much like what you would imagine a barbarian or kind of like a caveman type character having. Looks like it's you know, really roughly sculpted out of a piece of stone. Really, really nice. As you can see, those sculpting details, like the ridges in the edge of the spear sculpted there, and kind of some wear and tear there on the sculpt in the middle. It's painted in a nice metallic silver color, but it has a wash over the top of it to really give it that rock-like appearance. So it's really, really nice. Of course, and then it's connected here to the top of the handle. You got some really nice sculpting detail of like a leather-wrapped handle here at the top with a black wash over the top of it. It's done very, very nicely. It's painted in like a lighter brown color, sort of. And that kind of shows that it's made up of a different material than the bottom of the spear, which is, you know, sculpted to look like wood. And it's done very, very nicely in that kind of, you know, wood grain sculpting that we've seen from before. Painted in a darker brown with a nice black wash over the top of it to bring out the details of the sculpt really, really nicely. And it comes down to kind of a little curved point here at the bottom. But it's a really, really nice accessory. It works really well with this figure, and I really dig it. I like it a lot. And of course, in Oolar's hand, as you saw before, this was the axe that was packaged with Huntara that goes with this figure. It was supposed to be packed with this figure, but it wasn't for some reason. But, you know, if you get Huntara, you do have this axe for Oolar. And, of course, the only way you're going to get Huntara is if you subscribe to, you know, Club Eternia. So you're not going to have to worry about, you know, getting Oolar and not getting Huntara and getting this, you know, because Huntara was also no day of sale. She ended up being a club exclusive, kind of like Oolar. But anyway, there's his axe. One of the other cool things that this action figure comes with is this. This is the Four Horsemen's representation of the vintage He-Man action figure that Mattel released all the way back in the 80s. This is something fans have been asking for quite some time, and it's a very nicely done sculpt. Now, it does look a little bit different from the original image that we were shown, in my opinion. But having said that, I mean, I don't have a vintage Masters of the Universe not classics, but a classic vintage Masters of the Universe He-Man figure here next to me. But this looks so close to that it's basically if He-Man came out today in that original vintage, this is what we would get. This is the level of detail and sculpting that we would be getting, and this is what that action figure would look like. But it looks really, really nice. As you can see here next to Oolar's head sculpt, a very different head sculpt there, and it's also a very different head sculpt from the traditional He-Man head sculpts that we've gotten so far. You know, the page boy haircuts and stuff like that. It looks really, really nice. You can see that nice sculpting detail there on the hair. You know, that kind of that open mouth with the teeth showing there. Really, really nice. Really, really cool. A great accessory. You know, of course, it just has that peg hole in the bottom that we've seen before. It's interchangeable with any of the heads in the line, but a really, really great addition and a really, really nice inclusion with this club exclusive character here. So really, really nice, really neat. I'm glad we got that. Now, taking a closer look at Oolar, as I've said, he's been kind of adopted in the Masters of the Universe Classics as like a previous character who held the mantle of He-Man, and he was given the name Oolar. So this is, it's kind of confusing. This is the original He-Man from the mini-comics. Before there was such a thing as Prince Adam from the Filmation cartoon, this was, you know, the original He-Man. But of course, with Masters of the Universe Classics, with their continuity and canon, he was given the name Oolar, and he was a previous He-Man who came along before, you know, Prince Adam and Princess Adora and things like that. But really nicely done there. I mean, he looks like that original Jungle He-Man from the mini-comic, but at the same time, it's a different enough head sculpt that we can tell this isn't, the He-Man that is, the Prince Adam version from Masters of the Universe Classics. But it's a really nice head sculpt. Taking a really closer look at it, you can see he's got the open mouth with the gritted teeth, and he's got that sculpted detail in the mouth to show you that, he's gritting his teeth there. Looks really, really nice. A really nice, intense look on that head sculpt. Kind of a different hairdo, more of a, the hair's a little bit longer and kind of more unkempt looking, I guess you would say, than the regular He-Man head sculpt. But really nicely done. You still got that nice sculpting detail all throughout there with the hair's painted blonde, and then it's got that nice wash on it to bring out the sculpt. So it looks really, really cool. Nicely done there. And then the body is just, it's a basic Masters of the Universe Classics male buck. But we do get a few cool new things here. We do have a bracerless forearm. That's really, really nice. There's no brace. I think this may be the first just regular human forearm that we've gotten that doesn't have those bracers. And so this is a really nice, exciting possibility for future action figures, for a reuse of parts that can really be utilized in a lot of cool ways. It's really, really nifty to have that like that. Taking a look, and the loincloth is a new piece too. Notice it's a regular loincloth, but there's no belt. There's no belt piece. If you look there closely, you can see the only belt he's got, it's like a piece of rope has been tied to keep the loincloth up. And it's really nice. As you can see, like the loincloth is kind of folded over at the top, over where the rope would be holding it at. And you can see, it's obviously fur on the outside, and it's like smooth on the inside. So you can see it's intended to be like a pelt or some kind of skin that he's wearing. But really nice sculpting detail. It's a little bit more rough around the edges too. That you can see this is they obviously are all wearing loincloths, and they're all kind of barbarian type characters, but this one it's like a messy loincloth, I guess you would say. They haven't had their loincloth sculpted and styled at this point yet. They haven't even gone to the loincloth beauty salon or whatever. But a really nice sculpting detail, and it's much dirtier looking. You may not be able to tell here, but it's painted in brown, but that wash that goes over the other loincloths to bring out the sculpt, this one is much deeper and darker. It looks more dingy and dirty than the other loincloths do. And it's done really, really nicely. And then moving out to the legs, he's got the standard buck here. And then here, another nice new exciting piece. One, we've got the lower legs that are naked without any boots on them. So that's really, really cool. And as you see there, he's got the pins are hidden in the ankles here. But another nice, really nice new piece here with the hidden, the bare ankles, the bare lower legs there. And then he's got some really, really nicely sculpted, really nicely done bare feet. You can see the sculpting there in this thing is just fantastic. With the way the veins and the feet are sculpted there, the toenails are sculpted. It just looks really, really cool. Even the bottom of this foot has sculpting detail. You can see the creases in the bottom of the foot there. So just a really nice new piece here that can be really utilized in a lot of neat ways going forward in the line. But Oolar is a really nice action figure. It's really, really cool. A nice way to bring this character in for fans who wanted it. A lot of people are complaining that it was the club exclusive that included the alternate vintage action figure head for He-Man. But hey, it's like I said, Mattel's made it pretty clear they'd like this line to be sub only if possible, and they do everything they can with these club exclusive figures to make them appealing, to make people want to sub to get this club exclusive figure. But anyway, there's Oolar, the Jungle He-Man. And another cool thing that this action figure came packaged with is this. It came with a mini comic, The Masters of the Universe Fall of Eternia, first of a 3-part saga. And it's titled Homecoming there. And it's on the front, you can see King He-Man there battling Despara, which is his sister. It's Princess Adora, spoiler alert, if you haven't, known anything about the new comics or anything like that. But, and this is issue 6 of the mini comic series. Really, really cool to have this. Honestly, this is such a neat throwback to the vintage action figures. I wish they would move to every single action figure, every single Masters of the Universe Classics figure coming with a mini comic. Say what you want about them. I enjoy them. I really like them. I dig them a lot. I wish every figure had them. I think it would be a cool nod back to the original line, which this is, but, you know, there's obviously 2 more parts of this story coming. I don't know if they've even announced which figures are going to have the other 2 mini comics yet. If they have, I apologize for not being able to share that with you. But really, really neat, really cool. And it'd be neat to have, you know, that's something else to look forward to every month. You know, the continuing story. In the back of the, you know, you have your Masters of the Universe there, and it shows some of the other figures available in the line: Mighty Spectre, King He-Man, another club exclusive, Sir Laser-Lot, Demo Man, the unnamed one, which was another club exclusive, and Jitsu there. And then you have your Mattel logo here at the bottom. Just kind of thumbing through. If you want to wait till you get your own copy, you know, then don't look at these next few pages, but just kind of, you know, flipping through. You've got Icarius or Flipshot there, you know, and it's just, you know, it's nice. It's pretty cool. What was that? Looks like, I don't know if these were original characters that were, you know, in the Create a Character contest or something, or what, but you've got like a Ram Man 2 there, a Manny Faces 2, so that's kind of neat. So this does, you know, kind of move off into the future a little bit. So yeah, nice little mini comic here. But anyway, this has been my review of the Masters of the Universe Classics Oolar action figure from Mattel. As always, comment, rate, share, and subscribe. This has been Jackhammer 2711, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.